Alrighty, lumberjacks, welcome back. And last time we were playing, we had just cut down a whole bunch more piles for us here, but we are going to continue processing them all to their 6-meter lengths that we are now piling all over the place. Eventually, I'm going to have a loading episode, but I like to see how high we can really stack this stuff up. Oh, I forgot to turn on my terrible background YouTube music to keep my brain occupied. Oh, that's loud. Maybe turn that down a little bit. There you go. Yes, now we have the mood set. Perfect. I should actually clean up some of these. Might actually clean up some of these stumps here first. So we're just going to put the processor on park mode here. It's really good to get rid of these little, especially where you're piling. If you know you're going to be piling your wood into where the stumps are, it's good to get that cleaned up, because if you don't, it's a nasty time. So before we process, maybe what we're going to do is we'll actually go grind up some of this material. And then we're going to go stump hunting. We can do it all for the low price of nothing. Alrighty. So subject. What was I going to talk about? Right, yes. So somebody brought up, basically talking about mods. So generally, like somebody wanted to say, or somebody said they wanted me to talk about upcoming mods in my FDR Logging series episodes. And generally, I don't do that. And the reason for that is because sometimes these episodes I record like a month behind, or, you know, like they're not always up to date. Like right now I'm recording this, it probably won't come out for like another month, or sometimes if I'm recording lots of them when I have spare time, like sometimes I'll take a vacation day or I'll have a day off somewhere and I'll just record like 10 or 15 episodes. Well, not that many. I think, let's say like 5 to 8 episodes sometimes, where I'll just give her, because it's way easier for me to do that throughout the day if I can. It doesn't always work that way, but I try. So it's hard for me to give you guys accurate information about upcoming mods, because I could be talking about a mod right now that hasn't released yet, but by the time you see this video, maybe it's been out for like a month. So it just, trying to do dating of mod information is just kind of inaccurate and not the best way to do things, so I don't generally do a lot of that. But I can say there are lots of mods always in the works. I mean, if you want to know more information about the mods, becoming a Patreon or YouTube member is the best way to do it. I do quite frequent updates about the mods that are coming up, and the ones that are like their status and how they're doing and what's going on with them and all that stuff. So if you do want to join us, you absolutely can. So if you go to www.fdrlogging.com/donate, you'll see a couple options for Patreon and YouTube, and those are the places where you can get updates all the time. And I put quite a few updates out a month regarding upcoming mods and votes. The biggest, actually, that's been the biggest like engagement thing I've gotten from donators, is their ability to vote now. People just absolutely love that. I'll generally, every month, or as frequent as I can, will put out a mod vote where basically everyone gets the opportunity to vote on a couple options for mods. So I'll put like 2 models that have been greatly recommended by lots of people into the voting box, and then basically you get the opportunity to vote on them, and you get to kind of take part in picking the next mod. And lots of people have given me very positive feedback about how cool it is to be able to kind of have a little bit of control and direction of the way the mods are going. And I know it's not like, you know, a big control, but it's kind of cool to know that you're part of the cycle. And that way, you know, if it's kind of like a double win, right? Because one, you're donating to the community, which gets us more cool stuff, and you get a say. Even if it's a small say, you do get a say in a vote in a direction of, you know, what kind of stuff you want to see for equipment, right? So yeah, even people out there right now that are listening to this that are members, if you guys have ideas for machines that you want made. Generally what I'll do is, like, sometimes I'll get like a really weird request for a machine type that we don't have, and if I only get that request one time, I generally backburner it, because it's like, well, it's only one guy who really wants that machine. Unless I advertise it quite a bit, then usually it's not the case. But if I suddenly get a request for like 3 or 4 different people, hey, you should make one of these, hey, you should make one of these, then I will usually put that in our mod voting page section as one of the options. Because we've had a few like that. The Tiger Cat models, most of the Tiger Cat models were all suggested models by members that emailed or messaged me on Patreon and said, ooh, I want this. And like I said, if I get multiple people saying that from different accounts going, oh, I want this, oh, I want this, oh, I want this, I know it's a popular item, and then I can put that item in the donation list for everybody to have a chance to vote on it. So it's kind of fun. I don't know, I enjoy it. And sometimes it may not be like I used to do a lot more models that only I liked, like me personally, which I still prefer to do stuff that I only want to do, but that's but I like to give it the option, because sometimes it's something I don't even really want to do, and it turns out being better and something I actually really enjoyed. So it's good to live outside your own little bubble and do weird, new, challenging things as well. Some of the suggestions I get are just things that we can't do. They're just, we don't have the, I don't have the ability to bring them into the game, like certain types of machines that are like port machines or some weird ergonomical tree planter things, and there's all kinds of weird suggestions some people have made, which are cool. Not dissing anybody's suggestions, it's just some things in the game are very limited, and some things we can do and some things we can't. So if your suggestion doesn't make it, it may have fallen under that category, but fear not, because there are many other great things on the way. And it's a lot of work for me as a modder to try to keep up with everything. I got lots of things on the go. I'm working on maps right now. I'm working on sponsor machines. I got lots of sponsor things that are going on and maps going on, and just it's a big pile of stuff. It's a lot of work. So I'm trying my best not to rush things in a way, because I don't really want to. I want to have a half decent finished product. Some things I do feel get rushed a little bit when I'm going through stuff, just because of my personal life. If I could just quit some jobs, and I mean, I probably could quit some of my jobs and just do modding a little more, but man, they're good jobs, and the financial gain isn't quite there for modding, unfortunately. It would be strictly a me loving the game decision. It wouldn't have anything to do with money anymore. Maybe when I get older and I'm more retired, I can sit back and just mod 24 hours a day. If the game still exists by then and modding still exists by then, maybe. I'd be all about that. I think it'd be fun. So that's kind of my retirement plan. I wish I would have started this later in my retirement age. But you know what? We're gonna be so good at it by then. Actually, by the time I retire, if there's any machines left that we haven't built, I'll be really surprised by that. But there's lots of stuff that's in the works. And it's kind of here, I can start processing here now. It's kind of half frustrating at the same time for me, because sometimes I have a project. Of course, I missed the ones right in front of my track. That's all right. Sometimes I'll have a project I'm working on and it's going really good, and then something goes wrong with it and it gets backburnered. And then sometimes it sits on the back burners for like a very, very, very long time while I figure out how to fix it. I've had that happen. I have a few projects like that that are just basically sitting in limbo right now because certain things on the model didn't work out, or certain concepts I had planned just didn't work out. Yeah, there's some sponsor stuff I got going on right now that's kind of backburnered too, because just company decisions changed on certain things. So certain products that I was planning on making are kind of stuck in limbo while they decide whether they want to, make them or change the model. There's lots of stuff like that happens. Oops. Oh, hope they fix that where it didn't get stuck in the ground. Maybe by the time you guys see this video, they will have fixed the ground collision so that things don't get stuck in them. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Probably not, though. So, yeah. Anyway, like I said, modding in general is a very interesting time, to say the least. Oh, we're starting to get some frame rate drops here. I'm wondering if I'm too close to my piles here now. We've hit our limit. Ooh, look at that. Getting like 2 frames a second. Okay, so what's probably happening is this pile's touching that pile's touching that pile. So maybe what I'll do is I'm going to skid that pile forward a bit. See if I can get it out of range here. This is the joys of fighting with physics. I didn't think I cut down too many there. I thought we were pretty good. But I bet you that pile's interacting with that one. So maybe what I'll do is I'll build a deck way up front here. So let's grab a big bite out of this. We're just going to skid it right up to the road. You get all that? Oh, look at that grab. Woohoo! Sexy. So I'm going to pull this right up to here. And then I go back and grab that back pile and I'll bring it up here too. And maybe what we'll do is we'll just make longs out of this too to match up with the pile that we already have here. Got longs and shorts and all kinds of stuff mixed in there. I think I can get in here without grabbing the tail of this one. Oh yeah, we're good. There we go. Whoop. Oh yeah, no problem. Oh, we got that one little wiener one sticking out there. Go like this. Yeah, and then there's that one deck pile way back there. I think I'll go grab that as well. Just to kind of get them out. And like I said, the piles seem like they're pretty far away, but I guess sometimes all it takes is just one little whack and I guess she's out to lunch. Sometimes that'd just be like that in this game. We do have a fair bit of wood down, but like shouldn't be an issue here, I don't think. I think the problem is these two piles interacting with each other causing too much juice. So let's grab this pile. Oh yeah, this is where the problem is. You can see the frame rate just go. So let's grab a big chunk out of here. If they don't glitch out because of my low frame rate. I'm gonna drag this all the way over to this pile. Yeah, see it knocked itself out. It's happy now. We'll just kind of kerplunk-skis that in there. And we're going to go back and grab one more scoop out of there. I can't believe those piles are actually interacting because they're so far apart. I figured it'd be good to go, but I guess not. Oops. It's my first day driving a skidder. There we go. Alright, let's see what happens here. Do this again. And we lost a few little pieces here, I see. Oh, see, now it seems to be half decently okay. So let's see here. Let's grab this one. Oop. It's just a little piece in there. Okay, let's grab another big chunk out of here. Skidder extraordinaire. Not my finest operating skill in this game. Let's see if we can just drive right over the pile. Screw it. Yeah, you can see like a little bit of lag happening here. Oh yeah, feel that. Ooh. But then it cuts out right there. Look at that. Oh, we cleared it. Oh, we kind of cleared it. I think we caught one caught onto there, but not too bad. Yeah, just that one little one. If you got like big sized wood, I noticed you can really drive through those piles without a problem. But yeah, if you drive on the little guys, game don't like that. Game respond poorly. So yeah, modding. Good times. But yeah, like, so the person who asked that question, that's the one I wanted to pull that one. That one specific question, because I know I do get that question a lot from people saying, well, why don't you just talk about modding and your upcoming mods on the FDR Logging series? And I'm like, yeah, I could. And sometimes I do. I'll mention stuff about mods that are already like existing in the game and stuff. But for the most part, I try not to, just because I don't want to, and especially I don't want to talk about stuff that's in development, and that's not to be secretive. It's just because sometimes things I've done it in the past where I've like been like, oh, I'm working on this huge thing and it's really awesome and everybody's gonna love it, and then it turns out something on it just doesn't work out, and then everyone's like, well, where's that thing that you promised was coming? And I'm like, oh yeah, well, it didn't work out. And they're like, oh, you suck. Had some funny responses to people that didn't get what they wanted, and then I just send them a link to the song. You can't always get what you want. But, yeah, I try my best to deliver what I can, but at the same time, you know, you kind of get what you get, man. But like I said, I really do like the interaction from the donator side of things. That interaction's actually quite fun. I enjoy that. Because you guys can, like I said, the voting and your guys' comments on stuff, it's really, I don't know, it's fun. It kind of makes the development just a little more entertaining for me too, because I'm not, it's not as boring. Like I find, when you're kind of stuck in your own headspace creating, sometimes it's fun. Like I like doing my own thing too, but getting feedback sometimes is very, very helpful to the process, like while you're going. So I kind of rely on the YouTube guys and the Patreon guys for that. Because sometimes I'll be in the middle of a project going, guys, I'm going to do this. And then they'll be like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that because that sounds like too many people aren't going to be a big fan of that. And then I'll just not do it. So that, and sometimes I pose an idea that I was kind of thinking about that I'm not really sure about. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to do this. What do you guys think? And then everybody's like, oh my God, that would be amazing. Let's do it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, hey, now I'm kind of inspired. People like that. So it kind of goes both ways, where it can almost be like a gut check for kind of the feelings on the mods. And you know what I've found is the people who are part of like the YouTube members and the Patreon people, like, the reason I really like their feedback more than just random comments on, you know, Facebook and on videos is because the people that choose to donate to the community, like to the group, those are the people that are seriously committed most of the time to actually, you know, playing with the mods and using them and doing stuff with them. So when I hear comments from those people, I know it's like people who are actually dedicated and playing. It's not generally, and not to say that the people that aren't donating are not dedicated. It's just like, okay, well, they're dedicated enough that they actually like paid to come in to give their feedback, to be part of the development, to vote on stuff, to like see what's going on. To me, that shows a lot more commitment than if I were to just share all the news with everybody all the time. You know, I gotta make it enticing, right? And it's for everybody. Everybody wins. Everybody loves everybody, and everybody wins. No loss. No loss in the sauce. Well, let's see how much of this. Oh, I thought that was gonna be stuck in that rock. But yeah, no. It's been good. Lots of modding. It's been a lot of modding. Working on some, well, like I said, here we go. Not supposed to talk about it. Working on new map stuff and new mod stuff. I won't tell you what it is. I'll just say I'm working on stuff. Always working on stuff. Oh, there you go. There's one stuck in the ground. Stupid trees. Lots of stuff in development. And then sometimes I have to pause for a little while I deal with work and my personal life and then pop back into it. Like I said, it's a hobby, not a job, that's for sure. I really want to keep it that way too. If I turn this into more than a hobby, I would probably hate it. Maybe. I think working for myself, I would love it as a full-time. If I could do this full-time working for myself, it would be great. Working for someone else, I don't think I'd enjoy it because I make too many decisions that I think people would seem to be too rash. But that's the joy of your own business. I think things work great. Other people might not, but I don't care because it's mine. So, I think that's why people like being owner-operators of stuff, right? They make their own decisions. They look after their own stuff. They make their own release dates, their own everything. As opposed to working for, like, you know, say a publisher or a company where someone else makes all those decisions and you get to yell and scream and stomp your feet as much as you want, but that doesn't mean anything because you're not in charge. You're just a guy that works there and your opinion doesn't matter. Well, they say it matters, but we all know it doesn't. Like, let's not pretend here. So yeah, that's good. It's good to do your own thing. I highly recommend that for everybody out there. If you're thinking about doing your own business, if you think you got a successful business in mind and you want to do it, just do it, man. Go try it. Even if you fail miserably, I've had tons of different little enterprises and business ideas that I've tried to float that have failed miserably in the past. And then I've had other ones that have been really successful and are still successful. So never give up, never surrender. But if you never try, if you never take that first step of just like going outside your comfort zone and attempting, you're never going to know if it worked or what's going to work. And lots of stuff requires work, man. You can't just push a button and let it do its thing. You have to put a lot of love into it and growth, and that's all business in my opinion. And then you just got to give 30% of your earnings or more to the government and keep them happy and you're good. The government, otherwise known as the henchmen of the sole business owners. Gotta pay my dues. And I always go like, oh, hey, government, what did you do to earn 30% of my income? And they go, oh, you know, we exist. Oh, that's good. Good enough. I remember watching in mafia movies where they had guys that would do that, right? They'd go to the coffee shop or like the local business, the butcher shop, and be like, well, you got to pay us, you know, a certain percentage of your business money and we'll protect you from criminals, right? That's why we're here. Meanwhile, they were the criminals, and if you didn't pay, they'd come smash all your shit up. That's how the government feels to me as a business owner. I'm all for healthcare and all that good stuff, but yeah, no. I'm not a happy camper when it comes to tax time. Like I said, I got a lot of business related stuff. Luckily, FDR Logging, I don't have to deal with anything because I don't really get much profit. I don't get any personal profit from it. It all pretty much goes back into itself. But luckily, the taxes that I take off of the income that does come into FDR Logging, it basically sustains itself. So I don't owe any of my personal money to have to keep FDR alive at tax time, or at tax time. I don't have to pay anything out of my own pocket. It all just comes out of the FDR Logging business, and it runs itself basically on terms of taxation and government-related BS, which is quite nice. Because if this thing was costing me a percentage out of my already deeply taxed income, I'll tell you right now, there wouldn't be FDR Logging. I'd be like, nope, that's it, we're done. It's costing too much money. But it's kind of the crappy part, right? It starts off as a fun thing. Like, that's the part that's the worst, right? So you guys, like donations, right? They count donations as income for the business. So if you guys donate money out of the greatness of your heart and say, oh, this is for the business, right? I'm not a charity, so I can't call it not for profit. It doesn't fall under any of the sanctions of not for profit because we're considered a digital service. That's what we're classified as in Canadian tax law. So we can't call ourselves non-profit. So basically all the profit regardless. So if you give me, you know, a donation of any kind, 30% of that donation gets eaten by the tax man right off the bat. Without a say in the world. And that's just the way it goes. And I've talked to tax experts. I've talked to some really awesome guys that are tax fluent in Canadian tax law. And they say, yeah, there's not really an easy way around it. They said, basically anything digitalized, unless you can prove you're like a church. We should turn into the Church of FDR Logging. That'd probably fix it. If we could do that, we could probably pull it off. Or prove that we have charity status, but I mean, We could turn it all of our profit would have to go to charity related stuff though. And since we're a digital team, it wouldn't work. I could say it all goes to planting trees back into countries that don't have good tree planting programs. But then we wouldn't have any money for models, so it would all be going to that. And then all the money that you guys would donate to put towards models would go to planting trees, which I'm sure wouldn't be a huge issue for a lot of people, but then you wouldn't get any more models for your game. So I guess that would be a bit of an issue. But yeah. It's always a struggle, man. So my tax expert guy told me, he said, well, you know what? The best thing you can do is if you want to keep it alive, just pay the tax man, and whatever's left, try to make your business out of what's left. And I'm like, man, that sounds stupid. And he goes, yep, welcome to taxes. So I always make the joke about death and taxes, right? But okay, on to our last 2 trees. Man, we just smoked through that stuff. Hey, that was fast. I love this processor, man. This like the dangle heads. Well, since I figured out the weight distribution stuff in 2.0 update, which could be long past by the time you see this video, but that came out a little while back, so it's not brand new to me either. But yeah, it's man, processors just scream that wood right through the head. Boom, nailed it. Okay, well, I think that's pretty much all we have on the ground right now. We'll have to keep bunching. I'll have to keep cleaning up, and I mean, eventually we're gonna have to load some trucks here. We're really dragging the loading out, aren't we? Because we got like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 7 loads of 7 or 8 loads of shorts. 1, 2, 3, maybe 3.5, 4 loads of longs sitting out here, give or take a rough estimate or 2. Maybe we'll have more because we'll process all that into longs as well. Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to leave it at that before I keep murmuring on about. But next episode, we will keep going and doing our thing like we always do. All right, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. See ya.